It is housekeeping. Awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Doss, and we want to welcome another special guest, another main ganger, Brett Shumway. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, brother. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Everybody have a great Christmas?
Great Christmas.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I had a thing. You know what I realized?
What?
So, malls in America, they're kind of dying, right? Or I should say consolidating. Like all the like the smaller tier malls, I think those are kind of like, they're like getting torn down, right?
Yeah.
So, what was it? Last Tuesday, right? It's like the day before Christmas Eve. I'm at Woodfield Mall, which is the largest mall in Illinois, one of the bigger ones in the Midwest. It ain't a mall in America, but come on now, right? So I'm there, and it's packed, and I'm like, all right, cool. There's people who are doing the mall again. But then it's like the day before Christmas Eve, so obviously it's like there's nobody has school. So now we're at the peak because now all the teenagers are there.
Yeah.
I'm about to sound boomerish. I'm about to sound old manish. But everybody's like the styles of what the teenagers and what the kids wear, like it always changes. I've never witnessed such a de-evolving society than what I saw. Like every single teenager, they just don't give a dang about what they look like.
Yeah. No.
Just think about it. Brett, Jeff, when we went to the mall, you were like 15, 16, 17 years old. That was like a thing. That was like, you made sure like you went out, you were going to be seen. You might see someone and you might be like, hey, and then you and your guys might see her and her girls and whatever talking. Where are you going to go do? You got a party. I got a party. Right. And they don't care about what they don't care.
Yeah.
How many and it don't matter. Guys, girls, they just walk around. You're wearing slides with like cozy socks, like look like hospital socks that go above your sweatpants. You are wearing the most offensively baggy sweats of all time, and they don't even match. It'd be one thing if it was like, I remember it was like at one point like the mid early 2000s where if you were like a matching sweatsuit hoodie with your sweat, like you could make it look cool. Like sometimes it would be like velour. None of this. You could have like a gray sweatpants with like a blue like paint stained hoodie that's got a rip in the back. Like, aren't you embarrassed?
Right.
Nobody's embarrassed anymore.
It's not just the teenagers. It goes all the way up to like maybe 22, 23-year-olds. It's crazy. It's that whole like generation. It's insane.
And walk around with a hood on. Just walk around with a hood.
See, I thought I was bad because to me, it's flying. That's how I feel when I'm flying. And I see, now I'm not talking about, it doesn't need to be like the 1940s. We don't have to wear three-piece suits and whatnot. But when I'm on the plane, especially some planes, like when I flew to Orlando, and I'll admit it, I flew Frontier out of Philly to Orlando. And every time someone got on that flight, I was like, oh God, this is the flight you hear about on the news. Like there's going to be a fight on this plane. This is like, we're going to get turned around in the air. It's just like, oh, and Crocs with no socks. I'm sorry. That's where I draw the line. Don't like, that one kills me.
Brett, when you're witnessing that, doesn't it just make you be like, I'm going home and I am putting on a three-piece suit. I'm going to make sure it's got pinstripes in it. I'm going to wear alligator shoes just because.
That's right.
I'll give you that.
We're going to dress up.
So I know I sound like a little old manish. Be like, come on now, get with the style. Be like, verbalize. What is your style? What would you say it is? I can't figure it out because think about it. Like everybody had like the baggy cargo pants at one point. That was a style. People would wear that type of thing. Skinny jeans, that was a style. People wore that type of thing. And whether it was comfortable, functional, or not, that was the thing. I'm trying to figure out, what is this thing?
Yeah, it's just look like a bum. It's literally like, because I'll ask them like, hey, you guys got jeans, right? Or you got like slacks or something, right? Or something besides workout pants or sweatpants or, like gym shorts.
I
like
can even appreciate athleisure. I can appreciate athleisure to a certain degree.
It's not that, Alex. It's just
it ain't
like,
even that.
Oh, no, it ain't even that. It's like what you wore to sleep in is now what you're going to wear. I mean, because I'm going to be honest, a lot of them don't even shower, bro. Like, I'm serious. Like,
I didn't want to go there, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
So, and part of it, I think it starts like young. So, like, they have school spirit weeks and things like that at schools. It don't matter whether it's private school or public school or charter. It don't matter. They all do it. And every single one of them is going to have, every single one of those weeks is going to have a pajama day, right? Like, why are we just like, I could never wear pajamas to school. Are you kidding me? I mean, just think about it. I remember, I was going to sound really old. Some people might remember this and be like, oh yeah, that was dope. I remember being in junior high and just couldn't wait to show off a starter jacket.
Yeah.
How cool is that? And you're only wearing it until you get to your locker. Maybe you'll hang around at your locker with it on for a little bit, and then you take the thing off, But like, you were excited to show what you got. Nobody gives a dang. Well, whatever. All right. Moving.
Hey, I saw where they're selling them again. You can get your starter jackets. They're remaking the starter jackets. You can find them online.
Yeah, you can get them. It's a big thing. I mean, I follow a lot of retro podcasts now, like what's one of the Super Retro, and it talks about. I mean, they talk about all the great stuff, and what's funny is that you kind of talk about kind of back in the day and this day. I had a question. I had something today that came up from a parent, but also an instructor that, I'm teaching their son, creative form and stuff. And so it was like, okay, I got a question that I haven't heard or even thought about since the 90s. And it was, I'm teaching him a creative form, and the instructor gave me a question. Hey, what's the name? Is there a name to this form? And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, man, I haven't heard that question in a while for open form, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, we usually don't name them anymore, but if he wants to, that's fine, And he's like, you got any suggestions? I'm like, no. Like, literally the last form I remember that was named was Casey's bow form. I think Way of the Warrior, Before that, I think when I was like 10, 11, like we would name the forms, like I think I had like Super Kick because that was the name of the school I went to. And then I was like, the next year I was like, I can't call it Super Kick again. All right, this will be Super Fighter. Like, I don't know, just making up random stuff. Like Ebony Adams had names for hers. I know that her brother had a form called Flash, like it was the 90s, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
100%.
The best one to me was John Valera's Legend. Like that was just kind of what stuck with me forever, right?
Yeah.
But that was just one of those things that's like, whoa, I don't remember the last. I don't. If you guys name your open forms, let me know. You know what I mean?
So I know a lot of guys like both forms, and I remember people like they had to look it up on Google or whatever was before Google, Netscape, whatever we had in the 90s. They would look up like Japanese words and then make up like I think like I've heard both forms like Nakameni show. Like if you look it up, I have no idea what that means in Japanese. Probably
but
they don't.
Even then, are they pronouncing
like
it the right way?
The same way they have, kanji tattooed on them. Does it mean what it means? Hopefully it does. You don't really know. You just kind of look it up and make up a name. I think a lot of people did that, especially with both forms.
Yeah.
I think in the 90s.
Oh, they did. They definitely did. Yeah. So that was just a funny thing. I'm like, man, all right. Is this something that maybe could come back? Or is this something like for me, I make up so many forms. I'm not going to come up with a name for all of them. If you want to name them, that's fine. But at the same time, a lot of us aren't even doing intros anymore. So there's no even point. You know what I'm saying? And it just seems really weird to say the name of the form before you do it. Like even when it was back then, we didn't say the name of our form before we did. We just said it in the intro if you had it, you know. So
Right.
Yeah, so it's just kind of funny. Did you ever have a name of your open forum there, Alex?
I did. So, but here's what it was, because I'm like, when I made one, I just made one in the school, and I'm like, I want to make my own form. So this is like the mid 90s. And then I'm like, but I don't know what to cut, because that's what all I did. We had our curriculum forms. We had like ITF Korean forms, right? From the Junri system too. So it's like they all had names. So that's all I knew was you have a form, you have a name. You have a form, you have a name. But I'm like, I'm assuming it should be in Korean because that's what all of our stuff is. And I don't speak Korean. Well, someone in our class, her name was, oh gosh, I forget. I think her name was Cindy. Her husband was Korean. And I'm like, hey, what should I name this? And he was like, this means power. And I'm like, sounds good. And I think it's, anybody knows Korean now is going to like fact check me, but I'm pretty sure it was Mugai. All right. And that's what I'm like, all right, any form I ever do is going to be Mugai. All right. Mugai. And then it just was like, I'm the only one freaking saying the name of a form. Why don't I just stop this madness?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then someone made fun of me. They're like, what are you doing? Mugai Pan? And I'm like, all right, enough of this. Enough.
So
yeah, I did.
I might have led to that too. Like people stopped doing it because then I started making it as a funny thing. And I would have like Rick Lee would every term be like, all right, I got a new name for your form this weekend. Like call it like Raging Donkeys or Coked Up Monkeys or something like that. And I'm like, and
now
so
that's awesome.
And I would do that messing around, then of course some people would be like, I mean, I never really called my form Intergalactic, but it kind of became where everyone knew it as
everybody else called it Intergalactic.
Right. Yeah. And so anytime I was at a tournament with Rick Lee, he would just be, all right, this is what you need to do. All right, you need to do this or do that. And it was just, so it just kind of became a funny thing. Right. So, but yeah, that was the last time I really think I even made a name for a form like that. So
that's some irony. I was actually watching some Nikki Carlson Lee videos earlier today. Right.
Yeah. There you go.
Well,
there you go.
We had fighting class, and I was trying to tell something to Louisa, and I'm like, just watch this, do this, right? And we were talking about a slide side kicks that go into an axe kick, so that she would be the one to watch. But hey, did Joey Greenhaw ever make like a funny name for his forms? Because when he would do his like open forms, because there was like a period of time where he would do forms just to be funny, and it was funny.
Yeah.
Did he ever name those?
Probably. I don't remember. There was so much going on back then, man. I mean, even on the NBL side, the NASCAR side, we were just like that 2000, 2001, we were all just having a blast. It was fun. It was just fun. We were just trying to, you know what? Let's just be different. This is like, we kind of all knew that something was in the water, like something was changing, and we didn't really realize how we were a part of it or changing it, but we definitely were. So it was pretty cool. We've had that episode before, that 2000s episode, where it was pretty true, man. A lot was changing.
And I know you've touched on it a million times. And every time I look at any of that what we don't have now is that like everyone had their own thing. Yeah. Like Jeff had his style. Everyone had their own style. Everyone had something different. I was just thinking about this the other day. When's the last time you saw anyone mix any type of capoeira into their form? And I'm not talking about the standard kick that we all did, but there's a bunch of stuff that you can transition from the ground up into an aerial technique, and like we don't see any of that. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
We are imitators in what we do, all right? And so when you see someone that's being highly successful, kids will typically try to imitate that. It's no different than any other sport, right?
No.
So, but at that time, we had some pretty creative innovators at that time, right? Yeah. I think even Mike Chat did a lot of like soft style movements in his forms, right? Yeah. And you would see him at times do like a different soft style hand technique, which I was like, that's pretty cool and creative, because we talk about the three, Carmichael, John, and Mike Chat.
Yeah.
And of the three, Mike Chat was the least physically talented, but the best standing kicker. All right. But so he had to get more creative. What's he going to do? Jump like John? And he certainly can't trick like Carmichael. And he's not as fast as either one of them. Not even close.
Right.
So what are you going to do? You can't just stand here and kick the whole time. You're going to have to get creative in some other way. And he did a pretty good job of that. But
and he was probably the best. He was also probably the best at choreography too. So that definitely.
I can see that, but I also like what John did because of what John didn't try to do. Because John didn't try to be like, all right, here's Mike. Why would you also put in a standing kick combo when you're competing against Mike Chat? Like, you'll never be able to beat that.
Again,
you know what I mean?
You and I, the word choreography means two different things to you and I. So I'm talking about music. You're talking about the way he puts.
All right, now I see what you're talking about.
I'm talking about this happens all the time.
You're right. Yes. Well, yes, you're absolutely right. He was the best choreographer when it came to music. You're right.
Yeah, hitting the beats and things like that. So, but all right, let's go to a couple things because we got, we
had a show.
Lots going on. We're talking about the best of 2025. We've had a big week with camps. I just got back today from Detroit. And what's funny is that the conversation we just had is something I talked about at the Revolution camp about like teaching creative techniques and things of like, and I had to explain to people, okay, most people don't jump off 2 feet and spin anymore, but why not? Let's do that, especially if we're doing a creative form where you can only do 360 degrees. Why don't we do that? So show them a lot of different things like that. That was a lot of fun. We had a blast at our camp. I think the biggest thing is just letting all not just the team members, but also the students that are there for the camp to just tell the story, to realize that, hey, this person here came from where you were, and now they're up here teaching, again, almost every year, Cannell tells the story of Melina Pecci, right? Melina was someone who, wanted to be on the team and was following Cannell around, say, hey, I need to be on the team. And he straight up told her, hey, you're not getting any better. And it lit a fire under her. And she showed up at the camp and looked 10,000 times faster and ready. She was on the team. And then within 3 months of being on the team, she was on stage. And then, she's been in the past 3 years, been on every stage, but maybe 2 tournaments, right? So that's a huge thing of going from where you were not in that top 8 or top 5 or 6 to now being on stage, this past year, beating Haley Glass twice, without any bobbles, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like she dropped, so that's a huge thing. So I think a lot of us need to focus on that, right? On like the growth of what we were doing. So that was fun there. I love seeing, Jottie's school just packed with everybody, all weekend. Any other one? I mean, and honestly, like CE's camp looked humongous and fun. Was cool to see certain people out there, like Edwin Alejandro had his whole school team out there. I like that Infinity, of course, had their camp going on, but they also added in, to break up the monotony of a long camp, make it fun. Alex and Haley were teaching stunts as well, so lots of cool things that happens at these camps. Has anyone ever been to a martial arts camp in the winter?
No.
No. Yeah.
No, because I mean, honestly, we had Super Grands for all those years when we were competing, and then when I stepped away, the second time I stepped away from competing in 2009, I got married the next year. So then we had wife and little kids, and I wasn't going anywhere for Christmas time.
Yep.
So
I know. I kind of joke with Cannell now, like, you've kind of become like the new like voice in my life now, right? You're like making me leave like the day after Christmas again. Come on, man, what's going on?
I did. I've never really had a desire to want to get on a plane and go somewhere right after Christmas. Although I did want to do when I was competing before I was done, I wanted to do the TCK winter camp. I mean, that thing was awesome. What I love about what Jody did with his is, I mean, at one point that thing, he was renting out gymnasiums. It was massive.
Yeah.
I love the exclusivity of it now.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, hey, it's going to be these, I think it was 3 days. It's going to be these 3 days. We cannot have 150 people. So if you want in, this is a limited time only. Value is through the roof, and it's going to be right here, close and intimate. There's going to be no missing anything you do.
Correct.
So the exclusivity of that, I think, is pretty cool.
And that's what I saw in the videos too. It seemed like there was nobody who didn't get to hear a story or didn't get to be involved. Like all the videos I saw, they were tight, and they I mean, his dojo looks like it's not huge, but it's not small by any means, but it's not.
It looks long.
It is long. It looks long, yeah. And everybody was packed in there and got to be a part of it. So, you know, you've been to, I mean, everyone's been to those seminars where like you might see the guy giving the seminar. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. Jody at WKC. That whole floor is packed for Jody. There's no way Jody can get around to every single one of them. Correct. But at his winter camp, it looked like everyone got a piece of everybody that was teaching. And that's what I saw.
Yeah. And that's what I like as well, as if you can do that with a camp, you know, trying to do that, making sure everyone gets something, and not always something new, but something, because again, there's nothing
like
really
a nugget to bring home that can help your training.
Exactly. That they felt like they grew from the weekend. And I think some of that happens with how you pre-frame yourself, because I kept reminding people this weekend, okay, you're going to be learning a lot, but if you don't have any goal of what you want to actually, how do you want to change and grow out of this, then it's not going to happen, because your brain wasn't processing it. It's just, oh, that was a cool experience, and then move on to the next, right? You got to write down your goals. You got to write down what you were thinking about. You have to say, hey, by the end of this camp, I want to be stronger. I want to learn how to have better performance, because that's really honestly what a lot of our focus is at the Revolution Camp, because we have so many people that come from different schools that maybe don't really compete that much, or just compete in traditional, or it's like, hey, this is how we do it at our school, and this is how we're always going to do it. And it's like, okay, well, we have to show you how to do this. You can keep your style, but you need to learn how to level it up to compete in a circuit like NASCA, or, you know, a lot of WC or whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think people get from these camps, and I've said this for years, that there is an aspect of sport karate, especially forms, that I don't think a lot of only certain schools teach, right? Like we are a performance art. So you could have the best the best traditional karate out there, but if you don't know how to perform, like there's a difference between just doing a great kata and performing, so that everybody in that room's eyes are on you. And I think that you can be a great instructor and teach someone the best karate in the world, but you may not know how to teach somebody how to perform. So taking people to camps like that makes a difference.
Big time.
But also people have to believe those goals too.
Yes.
How many people have you been like, hey man, what are your goals? What are your goals for next year? And they look right in your face and go, I want to win a NASCA overall. And you go, you don't even believe that.
Right.
You know you don't believe that.
Exactly.
Like, get out of here. You haven't even won your division in 2 years. What makes you think you're gonna pull that off? I'm looking right at you. You said that to me with a question mark on the end.
Correct.
Yeah.
So as we're talking about that, like and I'm going to go back to myself, and it was just something that we were having a meeting really just with the team, and we were, you know, Cano and I were talking about just like really going, like, you got to have that, like that urge and that love for success, like so much, like just like you do for breathing, right? You got to breathe it. You got to really like want it to make it happen. And I was, you know, explaining just some things of like, hey, when I go to tournaments, you guys may think like, hey, you know, I almost am never happy with my results, but I've won every tournament I've gone to, you know what I mean? So it's like, there still are things that I still want, you know, and I kind of this on the plane ride, kind of got it. It was like, you know what? Like, I don't have all the accomplishments that I wanted to have, but
Right.
I have accomplished things that I never even knew that I wanted. You know what I mean? Like things that are even bigger than I ever wanted. And that's like, for me, it's kind of like, whoa, I'm getting at this point in my career where it's like, that was hard for me to kind of understand. It kind of just happened this weekend of how I was trying to explain it. I didn't say it that exact way, but I kind of got it this week of like how, you know, and it's because, again, sometimes when you are trying to go for that success and you may never reach that accomplishment you want, but because you are going towards it, other things that are even bigger than what you wanted happen, right? You influence.
What's one thing for you, Jeff? What's one thing you've accomplished that you never thought you'd be there for?
I mean, did I really think that I would actually inspire people to create a division on NASCA? No, like that's one right there. Korean Challenge and Junior Korean, I would say I have a almost direct hand on that, you know. So
I would say you single-handedly.
But I mean, there's other people involved, you know, that, but I know what you mean, you know, so
in the background going, yeah, boy.
but I mean, you know, so that's just one, right? You know, I mean, I think sometimes too, we don't realize the people that we inspire either, you know, because we're so focused on our goals and how we can succeed. And then you see, you know, people that maybe even you don't even teach, you know, like, let's just like, again, I see someone like Noah Thomas, you know, I don't directly coach him or, you know, do private lessons with him, but I know that, you know, I've inspired him, and he's just an amazing, you know, competitor and young man who continues to grow. And, you know, we're super excited to compete against each other this year. You know, that's just going to be a fun thing, you know, like for me to compete against kids that looked up, you know, to me is weird to me. Right.
Yeah.
Because that was how I was going to those things. Yeah. So
I agree with you. I agree with you on that part about people looking up to you. Cause that I have a problem with that till this day. Like I've always been the one. I've always been the one because like I've always kind of had a very Charles Barkley approach to competition. Like
Hey,
what does that mean? I'm not here to raise your damn kids. You remember when Charles said that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So like I used to tell people all the time, like little kids, like, hey, you know, I'm like, no, don't. I made a lot of mistakes. Don't look at me. It's just somebody to emulate. If you want to emulate my karate, but don't emulate me, right?
Correct.
It's something I've always been like really cognizant of. And because, you know, I mean, Jeff's known me for years. And if I'm upset, everyone in the room knows I'm upset because I wear my emotions on my face, my sleeve, everywhere. I don't watch what comes out of my mouth at the time. So like, it's something that I have to cognitively, like, I have to think about all the time. Like, uh-oh.
I don't know anything about that.
There could be somebody watching that's actually looking up to me. So I should stop what I'm doing right now, or at least exit the building. So that's what I have. If you see me walking out of the room and just like fast pace out of the tournament, that's because I'm trying to not do something stupid in front of somebody who's watching. But that's something that took me a long time to understand and to be cognizant of.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I mean, that's just part of growing, right? And so I think it's pretty cool to see, you know, so many of us from our generation giving back and growing in certain ways, but also the young, you know, like a couple of weeks ago when we had Mitchell on, right? He was saying a lot of things of like over the past year that he's grown, you know. I mean, it's pretty cool to see. And I feel like after that conversation, I'm more confident that he's going to do great in the adult division.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? So pretty cool.
Well, I'll be honest, like when I compete against him in Gatineau for the WKC Pan Ams, and he beat the snot out of me then. And then when I watched him 2 tournaments later, and I was like, he's getting stronger. Like he's stronger that like 2 months after when he just beat the pants off of me. I was like, oh man, this kid's gonna be this young adult is gonna be really good.
Exactly. All right. So congrats to everyone at the camps and our focus for next year. Let's talk about one thing that just happened last week. Jason Latona was announced to be on Paul Mitchell. I think a lot of us, it's not a huge surprise, because listen, we've had Enrique.
Personality-wise, it's a good fit.
It's a good fit personality-wise. Enrique has been on here so many times. Who's your favorite fighter? He's like, Jason. He's better than me. He says it all the time. He's like, he works harder. He's better. We haven't really been able to see him as much as we'd like. He had a good event at U.S. Open. He's done, several other, tournaments this year. And so I think it fits. It's a great pickup for them. So, and then they said, in the post that it may not be the first of new pickups for them. They may announce one more. So, interesting to see what that's going to be. But again, that just makes, to me, looking forward to AKA and, competes and all those even more,
So Jason is, he's not incredibly different than Enrique as far as his fighting style. They are different because they're different fighters. But like if you watched them fight, you would go, yeah, all right, checks out. I could see the connection here. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to make the assumption that Jason has worked on the one and only thing I've ever said Enrique really had to do. But I think Jason was a bigger culprit, which was just being on the ground. All right. Right. I haven't seen Jason fight a great deal since I kind of made those comments like years ago. And I said it many, many times. Yo, Enrique stepped up. He stepped up. I haven't seen him on the ground in a fight in a very, very long time. I'm going to make the assumption that Jason is going to address that part of his fighting game too, especially since Enrique says Jason's better than me. Now, I can see that from a brother saying that about another brother. Listen, I always said, some people know that I have a talented martial artist and as a brother as well. I know you guys know, I've always said my brother is way more talented than me. What I would never say is that he works harder than me. I would always say I'd have to be better only because, right, I'm going to work my butt off. If he worked 50% of how hard I worked, I would have never stood a chance. Right. So, it's exciting. It's always cool to see, siblings, households, compete and thrive and succeed together. So,
and my only question is now does that give them enough for two teams? Because
I don't think so.
Maybe they're planning on. Listen, there's been posts out there that people were unhappy. So maybe they're planning. I don't have any info.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
They're planning on people not being there, so they have to pick some guys up to field a team.
Well, and also too, when you have a lot of a good amount, you can kind of say, because we've seen several times this year where they had different teams, because maybe one person wasn't there. Devin's been focusing mostly on Waco,
Yeah.
He's not.
And then Cam got injured. Cam got injured at Ocean State, so he was out for the rest of the year, right?
Right. So there's a lot to think about on that part, right? Who are we going to see? Some of the juniors that are moving up, are we going to see them be more active? Are we going to see Jake be more active? Is Sebastian going to be moving up soon? What's going to happen with these guys, right? So, but adding someone like Jason, I mean, it fits. It works well. It's definitely going to be a benefit, I think, for Enrique's morale. You know what I mean? As far as just being even more excited about, a team. So yeah.
Because Jason's got to be probably 20 years old now. I would assume he's probably there. I think so, because I think he's about the same age as Tyson.
Yeah, they are.
So.
Yep.
So, so that should be good. I mean, if those two and Alex Mencias, that's a good team, but that's a small team,
Right. And then you have Cam, you know.
And then
as
you
Yeah,
well.
but I mean, but top 10's a small team.
Yeah.
Well, I say small because you can have a bunch of welterweights or light middleweights, but if they fight like heavyweights really well, then maybe it doesn't matter. I'll give you like Hamid Feruzzi being a super lightweight or a lightweight was never really an issue because of the way he fought heavyweights, right?
Correct.
So
Especially-
it wasn't really an issue having your biggest guy be a middleweight with him on your team because we didn't really have to worry about him fighting heavyweights and being outclassed. So
Right. Well, let's just, and again, a teammate of mine that to me for 5 to 7 years was the best lightweight was Russ Taylor. But honestly, Russ Taylor did not fight heavyweights well at all, you know, and so it would really depend on the matchup, you know, of, okay, because we were actually undefeated for a year with Russ Taylor, but the one time that we lost was because he got matched up with maybe like, I think it might have either been Reggie or one of those guys that kind of was just too, it just wasn't as favorable for him. Right. And so when we got Damon, it was like, okay, we have some that powerhouse.
you got the juice.
Yeah. So
because Damon can fight lightweights really well too, because Damon is incredibly quick from move to move, right? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say, I don't think he would say that he's like incredibly fast, like is the fastest, but from move to move, like quick, like he's incredibly fast. Not too different than Cam, right? So, I mean, Damon fights lightweights when he was fighting and competing, when he was at his best. He fights lightweights, no problem, right? So, putting someone in like that, like that's a brilliant replacement. Not meaning it to be a replacement, but I mean, maybe.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. All right. So what are some things we learned this year? Again, maybe about the sport, maybe about some competitors. Maybe we've seen some growth in competitors. I'm going to go right now. I'm going to stay on kind of the area that we were talking about. I think we learned that it's Enrique and it's Bailey. You know what I mean? Like, I think at this point, it's those two guys as the best two fighters, especially if we're just going to go to the lightweights, right? I just feel like this year it became those two at every event. And it was, again, get your popcorn out because we want to see, you know, you would have Friday night would be Bailey, Saturday would be Enrique. Or, you know, like it kind of went, it wasn't, I don't know if there was a tournament where one completely dominated, you know, the whole time. They split most of the events that they were at. You know, one would win open weight, the other one would the grand, and then the other one would win. Their team would win teams, or then it would flip. You know, so it was
that
exciting.
pretty much started at Ocean State's on, right? Because that was like their first meeting because they didn't fight. Neither one of them were at AKAs last year, Bailey or Enrique.
Right.
None of them were at Compete. I don't remember. I don't know if Enrique was at Compete or not, but I don't think Bailey was. So it would have been Ocean
I don't think
State.
Bailey was.
Yeah.
I don't think Compete.
It was a
JPM tournament
because it was open weight that Enrique beat him in early rounds in the open weight in Ocean State, and then Bailey won the next day, and then they've kind of Bailey's pretty much done much better in the open weights after that. Correct, like
most of the time
he usually does better Friday nights than he does, and the grands. I mean, he obviously wins his division,
right?
And that's why the first quarter of like tournaments is so important because it really doesn't matter. I don't want to finish the sentence. It matters how you perform, but what matters more is that you're competing, you're going, and like whatever your first tournament is, that's. I think truth would be told, it's rare that all of those champions are not going to be the number one at the end of the year. Some of them will be, but not all of them. So who's it going to be? All right. So if you look at that, just the fact that you're competing and you're getting momentum throughout that first quarter, that's what's going to bring you into what happens in May and June. Now that's the tipping point. All right. If you have a stinker in May and June and July, It's gonna be a tough hole to dig out of, right?
So, all right, really, obviously, overall, I'd say those two are the best two, but that's, also they're on the lightweight side. On the heavyweight side, for me, I feel like this year was, so was who?
Brayan, right?
Oh, okay. I was not thinking him. I was
Not
thinking
where I was going.
I was going Kareem. I was going D Stacks. Like his year this year of winning the heavyweight overall, he won I think he won 3 or 4 of those. He won US Open. I think he won Battle. He won those back to back. Christian did win a couple as well this year.
That's what I'm thinking. Christian, not Brayan. That's what I'm sorry. I said the wrong name.
Yeah, you mean Christian? Yeah. So
sorry.
I think it would be really interesting to see, what happens with D Stacks. But the first half of the year, I mean, he was winning everything, and then there were several events where the open weight was him and Enrique in the finals. So yeah. So I mean, and again, he's so young and he just keeps getting better. So I've been excited watching him.
There's another name that I didn't see a lot that I want to see more, and I don't know that I'm going to. And that's Mason Bumba.
Yep.
Mason Bumba.
So I think he's back in the States now, from what I heard. So
he's a freaking talented martial artist, competitor, open circuit performer, because his weapons are awesome too. Right. I don't know if he's still doing it. I know he's teaching it, doing pretty good. He's got it. All right, cool. But I mean,
I only saw him at AmeriKick this year.
I think that's the only one I remember him at.
Well, he was at Kumite. He was at the Waco Nationals.
Okay.
And he wasn't at AKA, was he? No, I don't think so. Yeah. So, but he moved to Hungary this year, right? And he was there for a while, and he was doing a lot of seminars there, doing a lot of teaching there. He was coaching there. I thought he did fight a little bit more. He was at Ocean State, actually. He was at Rhode Island.
Okay.
But I think from what I heard this weekend was that he was back in the States. So,
but what does that mean? Back for?
I don't know, man.
The holidays?
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's what I said
too.
To
say hi to mom. What does it mean?
What's up, Sam? But yeah, I think it's interesting. I think we'll see him. I mean, obviously, it's where he lives, so I think if he should be at Warrior Cup. Should be, right? All right. What's something else we learned? Let's go a little bit on the form side. I don't know if
say something
overarching,
which is, I learned that if you're vocal enough the right way, not just complaining, people listen, right? Because we saw that when we had Greg Ruth and Mike on, we talked about all the rule changes and why. We asked and we probed and we asked questions. Why'd you do this? What are you going to do? What are your plans for this? And it seemed like a pretty positive interaction, and it seemed like they're paying attention. They're listening. They want to do what the competitors really want. They just need to logistically go about it the right way. So if you really want something and you're not just trashing, because that's the one thing that it's just noise. If you just say, this is horrible, 2 points to kicks, 2-point kicks to the body suck, you should just do 1 point, and then walk off. Like there's no conversation about that there, right?
And then what? So what's another?
So that's real quick, because you brought that up. So I want to ask, because I wasn't there. How did that look, fighter wise? So at Toronto, they did WKC rules division, and they did NASCAR rules. 1 point kicks to the body, 2 point kicks to the body. Did the winners still remain the same? Like, was there any change in those divisions?
Only 1 or 2 differences, but it wasn't that different at all. I mean, the winners won. Yeah, I mean the winners, the best find a way to win. They change, they do the rule. Again, you're talking about people. The top competitors right now in our sport are doing both NASCA and WACO. There's a big difference there, and then also the other top competitors do WKC and NASCA, So like
I thought it'd be interesting that there's a tournament that had both rules set at the same event.
How did that happen? How did they?
But again, guys, they've been doing that with WACO for a while.
Talk to Mike how he's got WKC Canada stuff up there. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah. They just it's just, hey, you can have a division with just WKC rules. I mean, again, this isn't the first time this has happened. They've done it for WACO for years. AmeriKick would have WACO divisions. Ocean State would. I mean, New England would. New England Open had a WACO division. So
that's right, they did.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it worked out. What did you say?
Yeah, because they also did elite kata like WKF style rules too with Karate Ontario.
They had WKF. They had the WKF Canada judges there too.
Yeah.
So from the Ontario Karate
Federation. Ontario, yeah,
that were there, and so that was pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I think the more that we expand and kind of bring it all together, I think that's great. So
speaking of that, you did see that too, Jeff, right? There's rule changes coming in the WKF as well.
Yes, yeah, I saw that. A lot of things that are happening in the other areas right now.
So it's not just a logo. If you watched my show, I trashed the WKF pretty bad because they had this huge freaking, hey, the new era is coming. And I was like, what's the new era? Oh, we changed the damn logo. That's it. Like, that's all you get for a month. You have been like getting me pumped up and you changed the logo. But they did change some rules, which is good. Some rules that definitely should have been changed. Like, you shouldn't be able to hit a hook kick and fall down and still get 3 points. Right. And that was happening in the last 2 to 3 years in WKF. So they corrected that. Some of the rules, though, I'm kind of interested to see how they're going to be enforced. Like, the kata names have to be legible to what the name of the kata is. So a lot of times they announce the kata, but it sounds like a ki. It doesn't really sound like the name of the form.
Yeah.
And they also said too much theatrics and slapping the gi and stomping the feet. We'll see.
Hey,
we'll see, because you got too many top 10 athletes that are doing it. So are they gonna knock them guys down or not? You know what I mean?
Yep. That's interesting.
We'll see.
Well, you mentioned like the Kumite side of that. So what I've always found nutty is you can win without scoring a technique. And I just find that crazy. Like, if we say it out loud, we're like, I just won the tournament. Man, what'd you hit this guy with? Not a dang thing.
Yep. If you trust me, when I'm looking at those and I'm reporting on those divisions, and it ends in a 0-0 tie or a draw, and then the judges make a decision, they think, well, we thought he fought better or she fought better.
Wait, what?
They just make a decision.
That's insane.
Stupid.
If it happens in the early, like the round robins, they just let it go. They just say it ends in a tie. You don't get any points for it, and you move on. So they do the tiebreaker differently. But I'd rather see that than. But when they get down into single eliminations, it ends in a draw. There is no overtime.
Right.
It's just a decision.
Well, and honestly, like some of the places that do continuous fighting,
they do that same thing.
Yeah,
kind of the same thing with or when you have 3 judges, but the one in the middle has to choose as well. I don't think that should happen. There should be 3 judges, and then the one in the middle, the center should just be running it, throwing penalties and controlling the action. You can't be doing that and then figure out, wait, what? Which one should I think won? Like, it just doesn't work that way to me. I don't think so. I mean, you learn to do it and you make it work, but it's not the most fair.
Yeah.
So, all right. What's another thing? Form side. We talk about some WKF stuff. I mean, Philip Brumet is definitely an adult competitor. I think that's something we learned. We learned that I mean, on the junior side, we just learned that there's some really high level juniors that aren't a flash in the pan. You know what I mean? Let's look at the 13 under. Amanda Duarte, 3 years now being dominant. In that 13 under, moving up to 14 and 7. Excited to see. Because again, she hasn't really gone against some of those girls before in the 14 and 17, like a Cody and some of those. So that's going to be excited to see. We're
on the women.
Yeah,
on the women's side, we've learned that Maddie's the one to beat in tradition Japanese Okinawan
exactly
right now.
And
I mean, she has some losses to Gabrielle in the division and to Rose in the division, but not Trad Challenge.
Right.
She thinks she pretty much swept that every tournament she went to. So
I think she lost one time, but it was actually she lost at US Open Trad Challenge.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, it's going to be awesome to see. You have new competitors moving up in there against her.
And I did like so. I already took a look because that's one thing that I saw the show with all the girls that are stepping up. So that was my first question: is Pia does like every division? She's not doing every division as an adult. She picked and chose some divisions that she was going to do.
That's pretty common.
Yeah,
and I was interested to see what she would do because I mean, would she do them all, or would she do just here and there a couple? And that was something that I really was interested in when I was looking at the registration.
Well, and also we also got to give a shout again to Amber beating her on stage at US Open for the third year in a row of winning ISKA. She did that, and honestly, the last few times that she went against her, it was really close at Toronto. They had some really good battles in the WKF division as well as the NASCA division. So, I mean, I'm excited to see Pia in the 18 plus in that. I'm excited to see Alice. I'm excited to see Avery. I mean, literally, this is what Kanell and I have been talking about even this all weekend. Get your popcorn out. It's going to be fun to see because again, you got Mitchell, you got Noah, you got also on the fighting side, Ibrahim, Tyler, all these guys,
And that's what I'm excited to see. I mean, I checked to see. I didn't get to see what weight class Pia is in because that's something that I want. Like that's a big difference to me.
I agree.
I want to see who these kids stepping up as adult fighting because it's different. You can step up as an adult in the forums and it's different, but it's not as different as stepping up and fighting from a junior to an adult.
She's tall, so she might be in the third division.
Yeah, I didn't look at that. I don't know where she's at.
I don't even know what they're called. I don't even know what the numbers are. I just know there's
I don't know either.
Really little, kind of little, and then like 3 and 4. I just call them 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's what they should really call them because the actual names of the weights don't make any sense. When you say it to people, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm in the second division." We all know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Listen, like I don't know why, and this was on the NBL too, and for years, why can we not call the women's division the heavyweight division? Like it's always the middleweight is the heaviest division. Listen, everyone knows what they weigh, and they're not ashamed of it. Like so, why are we? Why can't we just say super light,
the actual number, the number of the weight, not that heavy.
No, right. No,
not heavy at all.
I do think women's weight needs to be adjusted in the weights that they actually break it up by because that middleweight division has a ton of ladies in it.
Yeah, it does. But the Waco breakdowns, it's pretty good.
I've thought about that though, Brett. But if you look at the numbers of it, there's more in the fourth division, the high, middle, whatever you want to call it. But it's not like a crazy amount. So I think the numbers wise, it actually is still pretty even. But I would think she's probably somewhere, probably in that third weight division because she's got to be like, I think she's like 5'9". I think she is. So she's pretty tall.
That makes sense. I mean, not that it's hard to be taller than me, but I do know she is. When I have talked to her, she is taller than me. So she's at least taller than 5'6".
All right. So so we're talking about that. What's funny too is with next year, You know, when we get some martial artists together, we just start. All right. So what do you guys think about next year? How do you think, you know, like, let's just say Mitchell is going to do in that men's, you know, Japanese division. How is this going to happen? You know, and then you start thinking, oh man, that's going to be rough. But then you look at, okay, well, actually, this person's not here right now. This person's not competing right now. This person, okay, that changes everything, right? I think a lot of the questions are, especially in the men's and women's Japanese side, how many events are these traditional competitors going to do in NASCA, and how many are they going to do in WKF? You know, like, which events are we going to see Mason in this year? You know, this was the most NASCA events Mason has done in a long time, right? And so that was refreshing to see, right?
Do you think that's more because he has the entire? So he has a lot of people out there now too.
Well, that's the thing. He has a lot of students out there, and he wants to be there and support them. You know, and I also too, someone was just coming back from, you know, the injury and everything, and getting himself back to being, you know, to being that, right? And so I think that was really cool. Yeah, 30 plus men's is going to be really interesting.
So I just looked it up on the registration. She's in the 4th division. Pia's in the last division.
And look, so now I am a little swayed that maybe this needs to be adjusted, because
So it's 129 and under, 130 to 139, 140 to 149, and 150 and over.
So 150. That's not a lot.
Right.
No. When I think I graduated high school, I was 152, and I thought I was as skinny as could be.
Right.
I was 5'11", 152. I was basically air. And that's the heaviest. I would be the heaviest of all the women. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, maybe it does need to. But I guess if the numbers are there, if it's even, then I don't know.
Is there 8? Is there 6 or is there 8 in Waco? I know there's a lot.
I don't know.
Oh, there's more.
There's a lot more.
And, but at the same time, if you're looking at AKAs, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 already registered in the 129 and under.
Yeah.
So that's more than I would expect.
Well, at one point we had 6 divisions for the men's. Right now we have 8. And so what we did is we just went, all right, let's move it, you know? But even when we had 6 and we were like, all right, because remember, it used to be 190 up was heavyweight. And that's not heavy either, right? So you get like some tall, skinny guy, and then you get like Ben Stewart. And you're like, this guy's a real heavyweight, right? Or BJ Carnahan or Damon Gilbert. And you're like, or Cam Dawson. And you're like, something's not going to go well here.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, Andrew's asking who else is there. I mean, Katarina is in there. Savannah would be in there.
Savannah's in there.
Brianna Nurse.
Yep.
So
yeah. I mean, I know there's some others too. So yeah, it's kind of wild.
So, I mean, it'll be nice to see, you know, Pia out there. But I think if we're looking at the women's divisions as a whole, Katarina is definitely interesting. Savannah is definitely interesting. I still think the best female fighter out there is Katana Everett. She's the best. She's done so well. I feel like personally, I felt so bad how she got robbed at the Waco Worlds. She kicked that girl in the head. It was like 3 times. Didn't even get stop calls. I felt she got robbed.
Yeah.
So in my mind, she should be holding the Waco World title, like a gold medal, going into 26.
Into AKA.
She got robbed and is now taking that into 26.
Yeah.
That's quite the bit of motivation.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, while you brought up Waco, that's something that I did not realize wasn't a thing until I watched the Waco. And talking about Devin Hopper's fight, I think I'm still frustrated over that fight because I never had a stance on the gear rule that NASCAR brought out a couple years ago or whatever, or you get one gear fix and then it's a penalty, right?
Yeah.
It seemed like every exchange they had, Devin's Demetrius was fixing his gear, and it's like every time Devin got into a flow, and because if you watch Devin fight, he generally, once he gets in rhythm, he breaks off 2, 3, 4, 5 points real quick. He definitely is, I won't say a streaky fighter, but he fights on a rhythm, and once he gets in that rhythm, he generally racks up the score pretty quick.
Well,
he could never get in
momentum.
Yeah, he could never get into that rhythm because every 5 seconds the fight was stopped and they were fixing his gear or he was down.
It was the same thing with
it was frustrating to watch
at the combat. I mean, at the World Games too, with Hector against Demetrios, same way. And it was just like, why are they allowing this to happen? You know,
so
but
this is
playing the game, and he won both this year. You know, that's pretty insane. And again, you got to look at who he beat to get there too. Like he beat Richie Veres and he beat Devin, and then that was just on one side of the bracket, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and that's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking him because
I will.
The rules are the rules. Like I have no
I'll
problem. I know a lot of people get mad about this, but if I'm up by 3 points and there's 5 seconds on the match and I walk out and give you a penalty point, I don't care. That's kneeling on the football to me. I don't have a problem with that one bit. But that's the rule. I think they should change that rule. So
it's not. There's not a rule to change. It just needs to be enforced.
And Waco, right. I don't know.
Yeah, the rules already there. It just wasn't enforced. Okay. So that's where, like Demetrios, it was good competitive gamesmanship. All right, you did good competitive gamesmanship, and nobody called you on it. On one side, I want to go, all right, you did your thing. You snuck away with it. You got it. On the other hand, if I'm Devin or any other one of his competitors, I would take the stance of, if we're ever in the ring together again, I'm going to absolutely kill you. I'm going to make you want to take all your gear off. And you got to look at it like this. There's no such thing as a competitor at that high a level having multiple gear malfunctions. It is not possible. All right. So it is competitive gamesmanship. Some people know this about me. This pinky doesn't close. All right.
Right.
So if I wanted to at any point, literally in any glove, I can just pop this thing out whenever I want. All right. And I can just dangle this jacked up pinky out there, and I can get a stop call anytime I want if I wanted to. I've never done that. All right. Because I just think that, how do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night knowing that's what you did?
Also, Alex, we're talking about Waco where you have to have closed gloves. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're having the foam gloves and the, you know, and like, again, we talked a while ago about the Brian Plimple versus Brian Ruth fight that happened on Battleland that a lot of us have been watching online, you know, because Wiley's been putting a lot of them out. And the glove came out a lot, but that was the glove, you know what I mean? That was just kind of the way it was. That's the reason why Waco has the closed. One of the reasons.
Yeah.
One of them.
Well, and I looked at it too. Like, you're a kickboxing organization. Tape their gloves on them. Like, you tape them on for full contact. Tape them on.
Right.
There's no. I was actually thinking about this, Jeff. That we should have like a topic on this. Not today because it's already too long. But we all have our favorite gear of this and our favorite gear of that. How we love to do this. If we could choose any kind of gear, which some tournaments you can, what would you choose? I already know what I love, and I promise it doesn't fall off very well, right? I want it secure, all right? I want my Warrior top 10 foot pads, all right? I love it. They hug my foot. I want it perfect right on there. I want it too big, and I definitely don't want it too small.
You're Macho Warrior? Is that
Macho Warriors, yeah.
Oh, what did I say? Well, I said Warrior top 10. What I was thinking. Macho Warrior, yes. Macho Warrior foot pads. If I can't get Warrior, I guess I'll take Dyna, whatever.
Oh, see, I'm the other way. That's all I wear. I've never worn any.
You wear the
Dynas. I love them.
You wear Dynas? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love those too. I think they're good. I just like when I see the Warrior foot pad and I put it on, and I'm like, oh, it just hugs me so nice. But I also want a really good, like a now top 10 hand pad, because it's big on the inside, so I can put something around my hand so that I'm not, because these knuckles, they get busted up because this pinky can't close. So there's personal things that I love, and none of them come off. So he knows what his favorites are, and they're either ones that allow him to work within the rules or they don't. You can't be this good and be this oblivious at the same time.
Yep.
Sam said ring stars. You will not get ring stars. You will get a pair of bricks on your feet and like it. Those things suck.
All right. So anyone got some MVPs of the year? Someone that, I just kind of want to make it a broad thing, not like, hey, these are the actual categories.
Yeah.
Just kind of go, you kind of already mentioned, women's fighting MVP. I definitely think it's Katana.
Katana Everett. She's definitely.
I mean, if we're talking about overseas, I don't know, who would be on that end, but I can't hear you.
You muted yourself.
Yeah.
It's this new laptop I had to get. This thing's kick ass. But anyway, I don't think we'd even be talking about on the other side, like, of the pond, because if she would have won that gold medal like she should have, there would be no conversation. It would be like, Katana Everett, that's it. Right? Solidified. You're the best in the world. Right? You've had the best year in NASCA. You just won the gold medal. You're it. I still look at that and I go, to me, she's holding a gold medal. She's it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
John Politi mentioned Ben. I want to lean in on this Ben Jones thing. All right.
Oh, Ben Jones. Okay.
I want to lean in on this Ben Jones thing, because remember, we get a different perspective on this side, what we get to do. Ben Jones is universally talked about as the weapons guy. That doesn't mean Esteban is not an amazing weapons competitor. They all do. I think people revere Ben Jones. Well, they may not say it audibly. I think they actually think he's the best weapons competitor in the world.
I will say he's the most creative. I find his style of bow extremely entertaining to watch. But on both sides, on the creative side and the traditional side, because he ends his spins in strikes and into a combo. Right. There's things that he does that I think everyone, whether you like traditional, you like creative, you like extreme, everyone can appreciate something in his form. And I find him extremely creative and extremely entertaining because of that fact of what he's doing with the bow.
Well, even his competitors talk about him.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. I just think it's really hard to pick an MVP between those, because you look, all right, who won the Warrior Cup? Esteban. All right. Who won? I think Dawson won at least 2 or 3 of the grands before that. Philip won U.S. Open, won the ISKA, right? Ben wins the diamond. So it's like they're all winning different ones, So
but I mean, again, that all comes down to judges' preference. I think.
Oh yeah.
Whoever. I mean,
you're right. So judges' preference, but okay, let's just say this: there was a year where Alex Lane, great fighter, won more overalls when there was one singular winner than anybody else that year. And I love Alex Lane. Nobody would have ever said he's the best fighter right now, because Jason Borrelli was still out there kicking. Raymond Daniels still put gear on. They just didn't compete as much as him. So the way that your competition speaks about you, the way your fellow competitors, all right, they revere you matters. And I think people revere Ben Jones as the best guy.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Where else are we going with this? I mean, we kind of talked about. We talked about
not going to happen. Bailey probably not going to happen in 26. But let's speak this into existence, Jeff. All right.
Okay.
We need the New England Open back.
That's not going to happen unless he sells it.
I don't care how it happens. I want the New England Open to exist with Joe Greenhaw running it. That is my dream. I want the New England Open to exist. I want Joe Greenhaw to run it, and I want theatrics. I want Cirque du Soleil out there. I don't care what it is. I want Jeff Doss. All right. Oh no, what am I talking about? Not the the Charlie Lee guy. Come on.
Dave Moss.
Dave Moss. That's what I was got. The Dave, the D. That's what I got messed up. Dave Moss. I hope he comes back. Creates a whole nother thing as well. I want the New England Open back. I hope that thing happens.
Oh man, that's funny.
I will say that I like the idea of tournaments doing specialty divisions again. Like the New England Open didn't they have the one where you spun the
wheel.
The Superforms wheel.
Yeah, Superforms competitors. That was great.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like there's enough gaps on a Friday that they could add something.
Right. That's why I think I think I really enjoyed Toronto this year because they have a lot of different divisions like that. AmeriKick does a good job at having some specialty things, especially for the seniors. There's a lot of different ones, several different tournaments that do a good job on that. So I know I'm making my decision now within the next month on which specialty division I'm going to have at Grand Slam Open. I've done several different ones. We had the Ironman where you had to do first round was form, second round was fighting, third round was a different form, and then we did that before. I also did traditional foundation, which was you had to perform color belt forms, anything that was intermediate and below. That was really fun.
Now, listen, some of the guys that I train with, Alec, you made a face when you say this, but when you look in the traditional world, like the Shotokan world, when I talk to like the guys I train with, as far as who they think are the best, if they can't win an event like that, where it's like first round, you have to do Heian 1 through 5 or Teki 1 and 2, like the basic patterns to get out of round 1. Then round 2, you have to do another 4 or 5 forms, and you don't get to do the big forms until round 3 and beyond. If you can't win an event like that, they don't even consider you a forms competitor. Like they're like, okay, you do forms, but you're not really that good.
Wow.
Because you can't do the basics.
Wow.
And honestly, I haven't done those katas in 20 years. We don't teach them.
Oh, I love it. And so when we did it at my tournament, it was really fun because we got some instructors that kind of came out that haven't really competed, but you know what? They teach those every day. And so they're saying, I'm going to do that division. I'm not going to do the regular division. I had several people that run schools that just did it because it was fun and it was really cool. And we got to see, like, we had a Kyokushin guy doing his versions of those forms.
Yeah. And those are interesting.
We had my students and it was really cool. Huh?
The Kyokushin guys, are they any good at forms? Be honest, I don't.
By our standards, no. But whatever they do, okay. Yeah.
That's okay. But that's okay.
Think of it like if shadow boxing was a kata. Because they load up in their kata.
But that's kind of what I thought their forms might look like.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's just interesting, and pretty fun. We did it where like Korean and Japanese were together because there's a big ITF tournament in California that does the Chunji challenge, which is their very first form, and it's pretty cool. Yeah. Actually, at my inter-school tournaments, we would do that. We would do the Taikyoku division, and everybody had to do it, but we would break it down in like yellow belts and in that. But the only form you could do was that. It was cool.
Now I did that like a couple times as a junior. So like when I think me and Valerie Bruce tied at a local in Grands, and she said, "Do you want to run Taikyoka?" And I was like, "Are you serious?" Because I was going first, so I wanted to make sure she was super serious, and she didn't just get me to do Taikyoka and then come out there and bust out and go Shio. But no, we did Taikyoka, and I think she won 3-2 in a showdown. I think I turned the wrong way.
Yeah, when the first year or two that I did seniors on NBL, Johnny, my instructor, and I, and also Kerry Goldblatt, all three of us decided, all right, we're for like 3 grands, we did Basadai. We just said, all right, we're all doing Basadai, and we're just going to do the same one. And every, her version was a little different. She also comes from like an Isshinryu style, and so it was pretty cool to do that. It was fun.
Why did you guys pick Baisai?
Dude, I love Basai. Don't get me started.
I like Baisai, but it has such a weird ending. It's such an anticlimactic ending.
What? Just the knife hand? You don't like the knife? What's wrong
Yeah,
with the knife?
there's no strike. It ends with 2 blocks.
That's not a
How
block.
do you have a form that ends with a block over here and a block over there? Like nothing happened.
So
Alex, every block is a strike. Every strike is a block.
Okay, come on. I get it, but come on.
It's a sweet.
It looks like you're getting ready to do something and then you just never get around to it. And you change your mind and you go over here and you just decide, guess I'm done. That's what I mean. It has a very anticlimactic ending. I thought it was a really cool form until those last 2 moves. And then
I
right.
agree with you on this,
versions.
Alex. The Shidoru versions of Basai are a little better than the Shotokan version, which is what the Korean Tamari, Oyadamari, those ones absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, how about here's a weird question then. Are there any, because we're talking about different divisions that would be cool. Like I think tag team could be cool if people really wanted to do it. Maybe put the seed out there in 26 to see if there's any takers in 27. I'd be cool with that. Yeah. But are there any divisions that you're like, all right, come on. This has run its course. We need to be done. Let's just give this one the axe.
I'll make my decision up after I see what this new open traditional division looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking it might be that.
I'm still on the fence because what's it going to entail? You know what I mean? Is it just going to be? Because I don't know. I mean, looking at the rules, is someone going to do a creative traditional in there? Like, it's not technically traditional. It's not.
Come back. Yeah. Is Anthony Merrick's going to start doing forms again?
We're doing tornado kicks in our traditional form. Okay. Well,
yeah.
And that's where you go, I mean,
yeah,
maybe.
I mean, if you look at someone like Mitchell Street does a soft style form.
Kempo and soft style.
Yeah. And he's going to be in there or versus Kempo. And then you have, honestly, when I look at that division, I think it's for like Kevin Thompson Jr. I think that division's made for him.
Right.
That's a good point. I didn't really think of that.
Yeah. Well, it says in there you're not supposed to do you can't do a Japanese form, is what they're saying. But doesn't mean like how can you modify, like where's the level that you're gonna, like be critical in their modification, right? Like how, so I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be weird to me.
So what is it intended to do? Because there's what the rule is, and then there's the spirit of the rule.
Back. Sorry.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. I just want to see. I want to see the division to see what's allowed before I make my determination on whether I think the division should stay or not. But right now I'm on the fence. I know we haven't seen it yet, but I'm still could go either way.
Well, I'm gonna keep saying this until somebody else echoes it. But I think, and Jeff still thinks I'm retarded, but we need to get rid of all creative divisions. The C and the CMX needs to put a knife in it, and it should be done forever.
Yeah, and I agree with that, especially in weapons, because if the only thing, I mean,
well, yeah. So
the only thing you can't do is flip, and you can still throw your bow and throw your weapons up in the air. Like, what's the difference between one to the other?
No, I agree on that. That's why. So for me, those divisions need a huge makeover, is what I think.
And can I also make a quick statement?
I'll sign that.
26, like a cheat 720 and a pop 720 are creative. Okay, like we need to have a division where kicking and jump spin kicks will come back. Like people aren't even doing backside 1080s anymore. No, like people aren't doing like. Why is no one doing a double 720? Like jackknifes. We don't really have a division where we see people do jackknifes, like things like that.
I just wish that I understand what the rules say, but the rule does not say that you have to have a butterfly kick in your creative form.
No,
it just
the
says
creative form
you
doesn't have to
can.
have any of those things.
But
all
it
the
seems like
rules say-
every single one, like this isn't the NBL where it says you have to do these techniques.
Yeah.
It just says you can do that.
the
So I'm
NASCA
just throwing that
creative
out there.
division is just about how can we disqualify you?
Yeah.
We want you to look as vanilla as possible. We want you to look like you plucked this form straight out of 1992, and then I want you to try to toe the line, and then if you go a little bit too much, disqualified. So what is the point of this division?
Right. I mean, there's people that have taken that division, you know, I think to a good level, but it's been a while. You know, there were some that were really solid with it. So for me, I always thought of it as a challenge. So I thought it was good. But at the same time, I didn't feel like we really needed it because like I had success before that, you know, like without doing flips in a division against people doing flips. So it was like, you know, okay. You know what I mean? So.
And as soon as they made the creative division, standing kicking died.
In a lot of ways, you're right. And that's what's crazy.
100%
right?
did. Because there was guys like you, Steve Horst, Anthony Murata, who did those things and they could do.
And we didn't get rewarded. We didn't get rewarded for it in that division.
Right. Yeah. And before they had the creative and then the extreme division, it was just open, and you guys were winning. You guys were beating everybody. And then the moment they went, all right, here's a division that's pretty much tailored to you, they just invented other ways to give you guys the axe, and it didn't make any freaking sense.
And you also don't see women kicking. Like there was a time where in the women's creative division, three-quarters of those divisions, those ladies were kicking. Most of them were kicking almost vertical. Like they had great kickers in the women's creative forms, and you don't see that anymore on their side either.
There's a few that, I mean, there's some good ones right now that are, but I still, you know, again, it always can be better, right? It can continue, but that's what I'm excited about for 2026 is seeing, you know, a good kicker like an Alice, like Caitlin against each other, like Lily, you know, those kickers, you know, honestly, Sophia can kick really good as well too. So you have those competitors that are out there, you know, kicking, and that's going to be exciting. Cody Molina, in her last year as a junior, she's a fantastic kicker. So there's a lot, you know, that I think I think the people that are making up the forms now are the ones, for a lot of them, are the ones telling them that they shouldn't, because it slows their form down or people don't like it. So there's that, right? So we kind of have to figure out what to do with that.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, you and I have talked on that subject for years. You know my thoughts on that.
Right.
Andrew hit the nail on the head right here when he's talking about when Charlie Lee came up with the concept. The concept was because Charlie Lee saw that, all right, this is trending to go in a direction where it's not very martial arts. Let's make sure we have a division that harnesses martial arts techniques where we see them on every technique. And that totally got bastardized.
Right. Yeah. But at the same time, the problem is that we tried to make it a replica or a copycat division. That was my issue with the way that Charlie and even Mike Chat, like they went so much. Like I remember the first we were at Charlie Lee's tournament in 2004, and they told me that they were going to disqualify me because I went like this and squeezed and did that. That was too extreme. And I'm sitting there like, what? And even when I did
He's part of the problem. He is.
I did the multiple kicks on my knee, and they said that was too extreme. And I'm like, that is me taking what is supposed to be creative, but I'm taking martial arts techniques to a creative and a higher level. That's what the division is supposed to be, in my opinion. But I felt like they kind of want just to be, let's just watch John Valera's 1990 form again. And it's like, we're putting, which I love, it's one of my favorite forms ever, but we're taking a step back instead of taking a step forward. We need this rule set and then be creative within this box. That's what it should be. And then later on, it eventually got to where it was plug and play. Okay, so these are the 5 moves that we can do, and then we're all just going to do them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
you're right.
So I think I think there needs to be more camps and things like that on how to create. I think again, if people that tell you about because I did a creative session this weekend, and I taught them moves, and I said, hey, these are things that can piece you to other things. These are moves that move together to other things, but I'm not going to tell you need to do this thing or you need to do it exactly like this. Now create this on your own and make it work for you in a different way. You don't have to. I don't want a bunch of Jeff Dosses. I don't, just like, we don't need just a bunch of Mike Chats or a bunch of this or that. We need it to be, but it should be who can push the boundaries, but in a creative way, not while still using martial arts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's when the division was first coming out, and there was wind that, hey, this is going to be the thing. What I thought was going to happen is it was going to be that, like, you can do whatever trick you do, you have to have kicks in them. Like, if you want to do like a butterfly twist, you can't unless you kick with it. So then it was like, all right, I started making sure, like, do I have legitimate kicks out of these things? Right. You can't just do a back tuck. You're going to have to make sure that your flash kick actually kicks, right? So that we can see strikes on all these things. Right. That I thought would have been really cool, right? Because if you see someone do like a double cork, I still think that's awesome. See someone do a triple cork, I'm still going to be like, you got to be freaking kidding me. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But that's not the same thing. Like, there isn't like the kick on those things, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Andrew's talking about musical and extreme. It's just it's getting redundant. That's one thing I like about the ProMac divisions. It's creative, music optional, extreme, music optional. That way you got 2 divisions. If you want to put music to it, you can. If not, all right. But it's the same form either way, right? So you make it that way. And then,
but here's why it won't change. And that's what people need to understand. The only way this really improves is if someone says, listen, we're going to take a financial hit, right, to make a long-term gain.
Yep.
Because they're going to basically they cut out the creative weapons and the creative forms across the board. You're essentially admitting, like, okay, we're going to take a $20,000 bath. This is what we all just accept. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to say, all right, whatever the gross is, take $20,000 off of that.
Yeah.
That's what you're admitting,
Right. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just, there's always things that we could improve on, but as far as let's go out on a positive note. What's the biggest thing you're excited to see at, let's say, AKA or this next, Oh, I know what it was. Before I get to that, we were talking about tournaments that have like almost, like where everyone does the same form or whatnot. So John Chung's tournament is a great example of that because they have an Exodus division. They have a Beethoven division. And so because,
cool.
That's in their style. But here's the deal. What they do, which is great, is because they realize, hey, we don't want to hear this song 60 times. So they'll put 4 people in the ring at the same time. They do it all. And then you give the scores for those, and the next 4 come on, and it works pretty well. And I've judged it several times, and it's pretty fun. So I'm excited in a couple weeks to go and see that.
It'd almost be cooler to see that form without music. Be like, all right, you really want to see who's got the best one? Do Exodus without music. Let's see how good you could be at that, because it's not appealing without music. But if you can make that thing look good, that's a good form.
Who was it that actually Jared Dunn, I think, used to do, I guess, Exodus without music.
Did he?
In the Korean division, yeah, because it was allowed, right? And I think he won several times with that.
I mean, it's pretty dang Korean.
Yeah, 2 years ago. So, yeah. All right.
I like what Andrew's saying, right?
Yeah.
Kim Do is the example of that creative division with tricks and kicks on it. Absolutely. Loved him.
Exactly.
And that's really what I thought. I thought the spirit of that rule was going to be whatever the West Coast demo team would do. Guys like David Douglas, Kim Doe, Chris Vera, yada yada.
And they still had choreography.
Right.
Yeah.
They still had choreography mixed in with that too.
All right. What's a big thing you're excited to see 2026? Brett, you go first.
Honestly, I want to see if I can still compete after another birthday. Man, it's not getting easy. That's kind of what I got going on the first month to see if I'm getting too old for this stuff or not. Yeah, other than that, I'm interested to see, you know what? You know who we haven't seen in a while? Luka. We haven't seen Luka Riccati out in competition. I saw him at AKAs last year. Might have been the last time I seen him.
Yeah, he was, the last time I saw him was US Open.
I mean, if you watch his Instagram, he's training.
Yeah, he's
training super hard. So I would like to see what he brings.
All right.
Or if he's just decided that he's going to go completely traditional circuits now.
I think so, mostly, but I think you may see him at maybe 2 events. You know, I mean, obviously, Orlando and Miami, those are close.
Because we know Matthew's probably not going to be around this year because he's moved.
Romania, yeah.
But shout out to them because they brought Romania into the WKC. So I'm excited to see that actually too. There's a lot of new countries that have been added to WKC this year.
Yeah, I saw that. There's a lot. So it's going to be exciting. All right, Alex, what you got?
You know, I got a couple things. Excited for 2026. I'm really excited. We should reach out to the guys and have them on the show, which is Rudy and Steve. Rudy Renan and Steve Terada. They're dipping their toe back in the water. Maybe not personal competition, but I mean, these guys are some of the most phenomenal performers and martial arts athletes the sport has ever seen, and they're still that freaking good, and they still got their fingerprint on the sport. So I'd love to see them more. Maybe they're not competition wise, but maybe they just pop their head in. They're at compete. Sorry, Jeff. All right. Maybe they go to US Open, you know, and they're around. And if they are, guys, go meet them, go talk to them, get your picture taken with them. They're that freaking good. Then the other thing, we talked about it before the show. Tyreek Saint should be mic'd up at every freaking tournament.
Yes.
He should be mic'd up at every freaking tournament, and he should be martial arts internet work sideline reporter, not even meaning to be a reporter. He is electric. He's quality entertainment, and he's a phenomenal martial artist. I was mentioning on the show, right, that Zachary, my son, loves watching his like reels and TikToks of when he's like day 5 of being nice at karate, and he breaks down how he breaks the fighter down, you know,
right.
And I love it. I think the social media game's phenomenal, and I think as far as a martial arts athlete, I think he's fantastic.
Yeah,
there's a sleeper pick. If he's at AKA, Warrior Cup champion.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's time.
And coming off from Wacos, he looked.
Yeah,
honestly,
awesome.
At Wacos, he looked the most composed I've ever seen him fight.
Agreed.
He didn't get out of his game plan. Even when there were stoppages, he walked to the corner, put his hands behind his back, was super composed that whole fight. I was really impressed with how I've never seen him that composed. Not saying he's a crazy fighter, does anything outrageous. He was just super focused and super controlled. And if he can carry that into AKAs, I think he'll have a good run.
Yep.
He's got a technique where if he times it well, and when he sits down and drops his rear hand, that thing looks like it freaking hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people have seen that in both sides.
We have seen some.
Yeah.
We have seen the wrong side of that a couple of times. Yes.
Right.
Exactly. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, that was great. again, I think we're all excited for 2026. We also congrats to everyone on a big year, lots of growth in so many competitors, so many teams, so many honestly promoters and tournaments. Circuits have grown a lot, like there's a lot of just change that's happening, regionally, locally, internationally. So I'm excited for that. For me, I like to try some things I haven't done before. So we'll see what that leads to. But yeah, man, it's going to be great.
Okay, John, I still got all the Viking swag. I just switched which wall I was up against. I got it all up. All right. It's right over here. I'm looking at my Prince symbol too, with my Chris Carter autographed Hall of Fame picture and my Matt Blair one with I got all the swag. I just chose a different wall today. That's all.
I tell you what, this time of year is so weird to me still, even though it's been 7 years since the last Super Grands, right? But still, for me, not being like with all the martial artists on like New Year's is still weird. It's like it's just not the same. So yeah.
So what are you doing for New Year's then?
I don't know. I usually sit at home and fall asleep before 10. I go to bed. Like, man, I actually get to sleep in, and then I wake up and then I come to the dojo and I have a workout with anyone who wants to come in and train for until we pass out. And then I try to find that. I try to figure out where I can get some black-eyed peas and collard greens, all that. It's like the traditional New Year's meal that you have. You don't know about this, Alex? You muted yourself again, buddy. What? You muted yourself again.
Hang on. You have a traditional New Year's meal?
Like I don't, like culture does. I guess it's American.
I've never heard of this.
Really? Yeah, it's like you have like some type of pork. So we would have country ham, and then you have grits with red-eye gravy. That's what we would. And I don't know if that's an actual.
Promised I've never heard of this.
And then you have collard greens, and you have black-eyed peas, and then usually it's cornbread in there too.
I'm too far north and too Sicilian to have done any of those things.
And I don't want to listen. I will say this. I don't want to offend the whole region. However, I don't know why anyone eats grits. And I have
like a different kind of oatmeal.
I don't think anyone really likes grits, because every time I've ever talked to somebody like, oh, well, have you tried them with honey or brown sugar? Like they always tell you about what to put in the grits. So I'm just convinced that you might just like honey and brown sugar. You probably don't like grits.
Probably. But
I would not. Listen, I would never put any of that in my grits. Okay. I have. All right, you put butter and then you put cheese. You just coat it with cheese.
See, but it's always something you put in the grits. No one just eats.
Well, I can have it by itself. Yeah. Yeah. And then we have grits with red-eye gravy, which is
What is red-eye gravy?
It's really just like, I don't really know actually. Like
sounds like bad marinara sauce.
Yeah, it really doesn't have that much flavor, but it's hot. But yeah, and then country ham is like a real hard, like hard hand, like yeah. Anyways,
I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to make myself a great charcuterie board, get some sopressata, get some capicola, get some prosciutto. You have top 5 Italian meats. Prosciutto's number 1. No question about it.
So this weekend I had from Jimmy John's. They have a sandwich called the Gargantuan, and they have all of those meats on that.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there like, good God,
like prosciutto, really? See, I'm more of a capicola guy. I can eat capicola like potato chips.
That's on there
right out of the bag. I love
all of it's on there. There's like 7 different meats on there. Oh man!
You did what, John? You had prosciutto? Well, you're Italian too, so that's why.
I'm gonna be working, so it doesn't matter.
It's true.
I'm not doing anything.
Doing what?
My job. So I'll be
on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Day, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. My job's 24/7. I work a rotating shift. So, matter of fact, I had to race home to get here tonight to do this show because I was at work. So, yeah, I'll be working. I'll be at work 6:45 New Year's Day.
There we go.
I think I'm done DJing anyone's anything on New Year's. I've turned it down the last few years, and I don't feel bad about it. You know,
I agree.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. But we're gonna have people over at the house. I'm probably gonna get, some good Italian meats and some cheeses, and then I'm probably gonna get sushi as well. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Sushi's fantastic. We had sushi for Christmas.
Makes your red eye gravy. Coffee makes the red eye gravy. That's my dad telling me.
Wait, what is it?
Coffee is what makes the red eye gravy. You put it in
what?
Put it on the grits and the country ham. Yeah.
So you put coffee inside grits and mix the ham inside, and that makes it.
No, that's too much.
Well, I've never heard any of this before.
No. It's like a gravy, all right, and it's coffee.
Okay.
And then you pour that on the country ham, as well as also on the gravy separately.
Yeah. To be honest, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Like why? Like going through all of this when you could just go pick up
Starbucks
some prosciutto.
Hey, to be fair, you live in an area where you can just go pick up good meat.
That's true.
Not every place has good places.
That you know what you. All right, though. Along those lines, though, Brett. Okay, I did this for my mom because we were just happened to be talking. She was like, "Oh, I want some really good pancetta, right? Which is basically like Italian bacon, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, I want some great. Oh, wouldn't it be great if I had?" And I'm like, "This got stuff on Amazon, like a high level one. Just sent it to her. So yes, you can. Everyone can. Jeff Bezos made it to where we can all have it."
Yeah. Well, listen, I moved out of Delaware 5 years ago. Back into Delaware 5 years ago. And since I moved out of New Jersey, I have not had a good sandwich anywhere in this state. I have to drive an hour north to get a good sandwich. It's just
I freaking love a good deli sandwich and a good soup. I freaking love it.
Soup.
I love a good soup.
And honestly, that's what I missed about Jersey. Any deli you walked into, any hole in the wall, you get a great sandwich with like a pound and a half of meat on it. It's perfect.
With the mozzarella,
everything. It's just, granted, I was fat when I lived in New Jersey. I'll be honest with you. I ate really good when I was in New Jersey, but
man.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go. We've all had long days.
Yep. This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week, and Happy New Year.